kid ever. It's exactly what he said. It's a little redundant. You ever feel like, somebody introduces you or like you got a name tag on? Probably don't have to say anything, but like you tell people anyway. Tell them your name. Does it ever feel like an AA meeting? Do you do that? It's like, hi, I'm Kid, and I think I'm funny. It was pretty. My parents were right. I must need therapy because you're the worst fucking support group ever. I swear. So I have a lot of gay friends. Anybody else? Like it's not that unusual anymore. It used to be like once in a while people had like a couple gay friends. But it's not the case with me. Like almost all my friends are gay. I realized it was around 18 or 19 that probably it works out a lot better if your girlfriend or wife is more likely to go shopping with your friends than she is to fuck all of them behind your back. And so if you're a guy and you can't identify with that, you're either gay yourself or fuck you. You know who you are and why. And there's a lot that comes with that. There are a lot of other differences too. Like you take a bunch of gay guy friends, you go out to the bar versus going out to the bar with a bunch of straight guy friends. Everybody has a lot of drinks. You're out with your straight friends. Eventually somebody's like, yo, come at me, bro. You're out at the bar with a bunch of gay friends. Everybody has a lot of drinks. It's like, come on me, bro. There are a few other differences. I had a friend of a friend that they were like, what is up with this? They were like, I'm so proud of myself. I have all these LGBT friends in my friends feed, and I'm so proud of them. They were like, I'm proud of you. He was like, is this an accomplishment? I was like, right. I was kind of going another way with it. I was like, it's not about pride. It's about luck. I don't have any gay friends. I know like 5 fucking people. So I kind of need that. It's not about pride. It's about I'd be fucking lonely. I don't have anybody else to hang out with. But you also tend to hear about a lot of different like stories and news and stuff in a different vein than you would normally hear with just other friends and other demographics. So I heard this one story about there was this lady who was talking about her kid came out at age 4 as being gender fluid. I was like, there might be a few outliers out there, but for the most part, like, who's 4 years old and is that, like, self-aware of, like, sexuality and gender issues and everything? Like, my 4-year-old came out to me as Optimus Prime, but I'm probably going to give it a few years before I go get his tires rotated, okay? It's probably just, a good thing to relax on a little bit there. And a few of them were in Houston with me. Anybody hear about this HERO? It's a Houston Equal Rights Ordinance. So they had a proposal where you could use the bathroom of whichever gender you identify as. So like if you're transgender and you identify as a guy, but you were a girl, then you can use the guy's bathroom and so on. And it failed, and they're like, no, you use whatever you were born as and assigned at the hospital, whatever. And so where a lot of other people see like controversy and everything, I just see hilarious opportunity. And I don't think anyone else has caught this yet. So I told some of my friends, I know some transgender guys, they were girls and other guys, and I was like, do you have any idea how fucking hilarious this is? And they're like, no, it's a travesty. I was like, okay, hang on. So what we're gonna do is we're all gonna go back to Houston, and we're gonna take like 6 of you, who appear to be guys, and you are all going to the women's restroom. Because I say, fuck Gandhi and his whole civil disobedience thing. Go a totally different direction. How about civil obedience? Just recklessly do exactly what the fuck people already said to do. They're like, you fuckers voted for this. Go down there. I mean, because what are they going to do? I'd really like to see what they're going to do. No, really, I want to know. Because number one, who is assigned the job of enforcing this? So who is either, 1, the unlucky asshole, or 2, the sick motherfucker who volunteers for this to go in and find out? It's like, all right, I'm the gender check bureaucrat. I need to see something here. So I say, good job, Texas. Nothing says limited government intervention like a face full of dicks. So speaking of gay, does anyone realize it's been over 20 years since the Dave Matthews Band debuted? That means it's been almost 20 years since anyone gave a fuck about the Dave Matthews Band. Dave Matthews has a song, you might remember it, there was a song about excess. I always wondered why he didn't get the Walmart, or not Walmart, might as well be the same, the McDonald's jingle job, you know? Like, believe it or not, Justin Timberlake is the one that does it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. It's a very exciting trivia there. But why not Dave Matthews? He got a whole song about, American excesses, and so you just have to change it a little bit. Just change the words a little bit. Sort of like, milkshake, suck up and go, drink it, swallow, swallow, brain freeze, drink it all, it's not cheap. Suck it through the straw with red and yellow lines. I kinda like those lines. They're really neat. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Did anyone see the Super Size Me? The Morgan Spurlock is this awesome documentary film and television maker, and he did a thing about McDonald's. He ate nothing but McDonald's for a month. It was awful. He developed all sorts of health issues just in 1 month's time. And there's a lot of discussion of should we regulate what people are allowed to eat, or should we try and push them in the direction of what should be healthy or whatever. It's like, why don't you just work on branding things and renaming everything in a way that just makes people want to avoid the stuff that you don't have to force anybody anything. So there are a lot of ways you can go about this, but you want to go with a sort of psychological edge. So for instance, you want to reduce people's sodium in their diet, right? You're like, oh, you're healthy if your sodium's not as high, and then everything comes with that, and blood pressure and so on. So, well, when you're talking about low sodium, you're like, oh, it's just salt, everything's fine. Just alter perception by within. So I think we should go back to the Bible with that, right? Because a lot of the people who want to complain about it are very, biblically oriented people, wanting to keep the government out, and so just stick with some more scripturally oriented branding. So, when I think of, what is it, Lot's wife, was Sarah, is it she turned a pillar of salt? Instead of calling it low sodium, why don't you just call it over-sodomized? I think a lot of people would probably stay away from that if it was over-sodomized fries. I'm sorry. Did you want some over-sodomized meat? No, you don't. This is positive direction. This is just a thought. Go ahead. So, all right. Let's just go a little less controversial. Just go a little ridiculous now. So, I realized long time ago, I was in, I want to say it was senior year of high school, and realized there's a lot that you can read and do that it doesn't make sense if you say it in your accent. So we're reading old English literature, and this was college prep classes and everything. So you think everybody was able to keep up with it. They're I don't understand this. And Ham came his gid horse. It's you just calm down. Have you ever seen a movie? Do you see, aside from, maybe some James Earl Jones or something, do you see that many American people just speaking in their accent and everything? No, everybody's got a British accent or something along those lines. So I was you give it a little inflection. Ham came his gid horse, and never can he. Right? So, that's not funny, but that just gives you a little idea of the direction. So, there are some jokes also, in addition to Old English literature, that only make sense if it's in that accent. So, for instance, if I ask you, why do Scotsmen work out? You'd have to know that it's because they want to get into shape. Then if you're in Ireland, and you're walking around and you're talking about some sports, but maybe somebody doesn't get the backstory, and you're like, this motherfucker scored 40 pints. He scored what pints? He scored 40 pints. That's a gassy motherfucker right there. Yeah, it's not necessarily gassy. 40s, it's exciting. He's probably a very fit man, or a good fit gentleman. Yeah, but if he's 40, that's fucking disgusting. Don't want to play anything with that man. You don't get that? I'm sorry. But I do have, sometimes you just intentionally just want that. We want that accent. I was telling some friends, I was like, oh my god, it would be so great. I want to hear Lady Gaga, but not by Lady Gaga. I want Jude Law to do sexy spoken word poetry of Lady Gaga. So I was practicing, and they were like, your jukebox terrible. I was like, you can't do any accents. And they're like, no, but you sound like Russell Brand. I was like, I can do Russell Brand, it's fine. So, led to, I want your love, and I want your revenge. You and me for write a bad romance. Oh. Ooh. Oh. Caught in a bad romance. There's also Russian roulette is not the same without a gun, is it, love? And when it comes to love, if it's not rough, it isn't fun. Side note, usually have to pay a little bit extra for that sort of action in my line of work and in my experience. Anything more than a little slap on the bottom? Yeah. And, like John Lennon. Anybody like John Lennon? What if John Lennon was still alive today? He's like, spent so much of the late 80s and early 90s being influenced by gangster rap and really wanting to develop a bit more, but hiding from Yoko and faking my death, I haven't had time with my boys to reinvigorate my music career, so instead I just wanted to update some old tunes. You know, I learned so much. I've learned that the Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. So, being brought through that time period, I decided to take a classic. I hope you like it. It was once called Hey Jude. Without further ado. Hey dude, let's smoke some crack, take some cocaine, and make it better. Remember to get it into your pipe, so you can smoke it. It's so much better. What do you think? I think I've got a hit on my hands. Alright everyone, I've got a P, and P is the first letter in the word. Peace.